Well, hey guys, it is Brent Abel here, WebTennis.com and GoldBallHunting.com. And Jeff is unable to be with us today for this episode because it's a Saturday and that young man is busy today. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm going to do a little solo episode. And what I want to talk about today, what we're going to talk about today is mental focus. And it's kind of the first step that you've got to take to be able to start getting better clarity, better mental focus during your matches. And before we get into that, though, I want to make sure that you are aware that Jeff and I are still offering a free 10-minute private coaching call. And all we ask is that you bring that one thing in your game. 10 minutes may not sound like very much time, but if you bring that one thing in your game right now that you feel is holding you back from getting the result that you want, whether it's singles or doubles, believe me, 10 minutes is plenty of time for you to describe it and let us kind of put you on the path to help you get that result, that eventual result that you want to get out of your game. The way to get on that free private coaching call, just the three of us, telephone call, go on over to goldballhunting.com, drop in your first name and email address, and you will get access to our online calendar scheduler where you get to cherry pick a date and time that works best for you. So guys, one of the questions that I've always been asked, and that I seem to get asked a lot lately, out of competitive players, right? Either guys or gals who are playing tournaments, league matches, or just practice matches where you're competing your little fanny off out there, right? You're really trying to win this thing. And to me, focus and concentration is all about clarity. And clarity is really how do we eliminate as many thoughts as possible? And that starts with practice, right? So you can go buy a book, you can go buy this or that, and you can read the whole thing and kind of think that here's this big thing of information, and where do you start? You know, and the one place you can't start is trying to implement the entire philosophy of that book or that information all at the same time. You got to start with one thing. And for me, that one thing every day is about spacing, right? If we want to talk about stroke technique in terms of trying to get focused, it's about spacing. And Jeff and I talked about this recently, that the number one thing in terms of shot making consistency is all about spacing, right? What's the distance that you want to get yourself away from the path of that incoming ball? Whether it's a forehand, backhand, return a serve, on your serve, right? You got to place a toss in a specific spot that creates spacing so that you can efficiently make stroke mechanics work. But in terms of something outside of stroke technique, in terms of competing, well, look, why can't you go out there and practice one thing, right? And that one thing might be, I'm going to play today every ball right up the middle third of the court. Well, that is total focus. That is total clarity. There's so many other things that you could be thinking about, but the more that you consider all the different potential things that could be strategic, that could be tactical, that could be technical, there's just no way to have clarity. There's no way to have focus. And once that happens, between points, your mind is just scattergun of potential different thoughts. So here's what I want you to do. Is the next time you go out, and it doesn't matter if it's a drill session, if it's a practice set or match, if it's a league match or if it's whatever, I want you to commit to doing one thing on that day. And look, let's be honest, you know, every time you play a match, it's not like the end of the world, that if you don't win this thing, that everything in your life is going to blow up, right? That your social status, if you lose, is going to go in the crapper, or that if you win, you know, you're going to be the man, you're going to be the woman. That's never going to happen based on one match. So you could, no matter what the arena is the next time you play, again, drill, practice, league, tournament, whatever it is, decide beforehand what's the one thing that you're going to do on that day. You don't have to say, well, what's the one thing I'm going to work on today? Don't even say that. Just say, what's the one thing I'm actually going to do today? And in the beginning, you know what's going to happen. You'll be committed to it. But once you start losing a few points and you're still committed to doing that one thing, you know what? You're going to have that voice between points. Or if you're in a drill session where you're picking up balls where you're going, you know what? I better do something different. That's the voice that you got to just tell them to shut up. And you're going to stick to today on that one thing. And here's what happens when you get committed to staying to that one thing for today, no matter what the arena is today, no matter what the format is, whatever, is you come away with learning. You come away with a little nugget or two about yourself and about that one thing that you actually did on that day. And the next day you go out, you know what, you might tweak it a bit, or you might decide, I'm going to work on something totally different today. The first day you might have worked out, I'm just taking every ball right down the middle third of the court. All right. The next day you might go out and say, you know what, today I'm going to work just on spacing, right? Or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. But eventually over time, you're going to be able to start to concentrate and get clarity and get focus so that you are not out there with kind of a scattergun approach. So there it is. That's kind of the formula for how you get better focus, how you get better clarity. And then once you get out there and you're playing leagues and tournaments, from there it's really kind of the same thing in terms of what I do between points. You know, I've done all my practice, all my drilling when I go, you know, prior to playing a tournament. And then when I'm out there playing a match, it could be that on that one match, hey, there's a certain tactic or strategy that I gotta deploy against this specific opponent. Okay, that's fine. I might say, I'm not going to allow the guy to go out to the corners of his court over there by me hitting out wide to a corner, either up the line or cross court, because I don't want to give that opponent an opportunity to look at the tennis court from the corner, because boy, the angles get bigger out there and players just feel so much more comfortable playing their shots from the corner of the court rather than from the middle. So it could be in a certain opponent, I got to go right up the middle, and I'm not going 1/3 up the middle. Today, I'm dividing the court into quarters, and I'm going right smack dab. I'm bisecting that second and third quarters right up the middle, really being precise with my target. And then what you do between points, I mean, I've got my own 4-part between points routine, and it could be that, you know, one of the parts is strategy, tactic. How do I want to start the next point? Well, again, that's just focus and clarity right there. If you're not managing that between points time, discipline-wise, where you're doing the same thing over and over again, then you know what? You're going to have that scattergun type of focus, which is no focus at all, right? So, guys, would love to hear from you about focus, concentration, keeping concentration throughout a match, not losing concentration at the end of a set, or you're up a break, or the end of the match, or you got break point, whatever those situations are where you get a little confusion, right, because you start to lose focus. I want to hear about it down below in the comment section. If you're over at YouTube, let me know. I love to read and respond to everything. And if you're listening to today's episode, either through iTunes or another audio format, just shoot me an email over at Gold Ball Hunting, which is letusknow@goldballhunting.com. Or you can also do the same thing at Brent@WebTennis.com. So, guys, that is it for me today. I'm sure Jeff will be back with us tomorrow for a Gold Ball Hunting episode. In the meantime, guys, would love for you to subscribe to this channel, share it, like it, and like I just said, be sure to leave a comment and let me know what's on your mind. Guys, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day, and let's do this again tomorrow.